Hey film friends, I'm Nick Furman. This is Furman on Film. Welcome to the channel. The Pope is dead, and all the cardinals have gathered in the Vatican to form the titular Conclave. Because, you know, the title 120 Angry Men was already taken. It's a crisis of faith drama full of courtroom intrigue, a talk-driven thriller with shifting alliances, and one reveal after another. It's like 12 Angry Men for Catholics. More like Mean Girls-style group infighting. As if Agatha Christie dropped into the Sistine Chapel with new smoking guns popping up every other scene. This is Edward Berger's Conclave. Director Edward Berger returns to attempt something ambitious here. A thriller built around one of the oldest traditions in existence, the selection of a new pope. I mean, look, the themes pretty much jump off the screen here. This is a story about divided factions within the papacy trying to battle for a successor who fits their own interests. But let's get big picture for a moment. Could this be any more fitting for our current political landscape and the fervor of an election cycle? I mean, you've got a grand old-fashioned liberal versus conservative face-off. On the one side is Stanley Tucci sitting in a room and espousing notions about respecting other faiths, honoring the place of women, and a host of other progressive ideas. On the other is Tedesco, this film's larger-than-life ham, an extreme conservative who basically claims that everything started falling apart when we stopped doing the Mass in Latin. Then there's Ralph Fiennes' opening speech, which is all about tolerance and moderation, exhorting the cardinals that no one faction should try to dominate another. Certainty is the great enemy of unity. Certainty is the deadly enemy of tolerance. I mean, I did not give him a little like that. All right.
Tim Allen movie?
Tim the Tool Man, Taylor, baby.
All I needed was a little bit, and I got it.
Yeah,
so.
man, I used to love that show.
It's great.
He's essentially inviting us to allow room for doubt so that faith can bloom. But just in case we get too up in the clouds with these crisis of faith ideas, Berger hammers home the political intrigue again with Fiennes. Was this secret meeting really necessary? I feel like I'm at some American political convention. It's a little on the nose, but it's definitely effective. So, what's to love here? Well, look, let's start with all the below-the-line stuff. The king of the three-note percussive string score is back. Volker Bertelmann returns from his Oscar-winning score from Berger's last film, All Quiet on the Western Front, to once again employ intense strings to build tension. The score is almost constantly announcing itself, shouting at us to feel the magnitude of what we're seeing on screen. Berger's visual style melds together with this well. It's austere and exacting. His skill is impressive, with a major eye for composition. So we get these incredibly detail-oriented insert shots of objects, displaying the arcana of the Holy City and this religious rite. Berger will cut away, for instance, to Vatican City's striking art and architecture, then return to close-ups of major players' faces. Then he'll go super wide to a handful of static compositions which are just painterly. Yeah, think of all the cardinals holding umbrellas in the square. But what is so wild about all this is despite all the filmmaking techniques which point to the gravity and heavyweight subject matter of the ancient rite, the actual film is totally playful. Conclave is consistently entertaining, pulpy, and downright funny in moments. And maybe this was Berger's intention all along, as he is exposing the farcical nature of these grave institutional practices. This is a feature of the picture, not a bug. We've also got to talk about the performances. What a cadre of character actors just chewing scenery and crushing lines. Rarely has Fiennes been this good ever. The man is incredible at just using his face to portray pain and suffering. Stanley Tucci is the most interesting character in the whole film. His unexpected twists and turns are a major highlight of the picture. John Lithgow, Isabella Rossellini, and many others are equally excellent. Finally, Berger's choice to show us only snippets of the behind-the-scenes gossip and really none of the other cardinals' dialogue could lead viewers to have mixed feelings. But for my part, I find it an inspired choice because it leaves much of the mystery in place and lets the viewer feel like each round of voting has real significance. I think there are a couple different ways we can take Conclave to task. The first is this tonal juggling act we've got going on. Sometimes it's as if the filmmakers can't decide if this picture is a thoughtful exploration of faith, a thinly veiled political allegory, or a juicy melodrama. and it kinda ends up trying to be all three at once, which mostly works, but the combination is a little uneven. The solemnity of the shots cuts across the whodunit elements of a soap opera featuring men hunting for power. I believe some viewers will find the characters oversimplified as well. We're dealing with broad liberal and conservative caricatures, figures that are almost more mouthpieces than real men. As fun as the movie is, if you're hoping for a serious inquiry into men experiencing crises of faith, or a look at the church's inner workings, you're probably going to feel shortchanged. Now, let's talk about the ending. Yeah, there's a whopper in the concluding moments here. I'm going to avoid spoilers, but Berger is clearly aiming for an impactful, memorable finish. I don't have an issue with what he's trying to say, but I do feel that it comes off heavy-handed. It's honestly a little too good to be true. In the end, Berger's message is as intensely in your face as the thrumming strings which make up the sound design. So, what do we conclude? Conclave is papal pulp at its most deliciously entertaining. The number of actors going for broke is next level, and there are plenty of laugh-out-loud moments. But the fact that it all goes down so easily and the picture is chock full of mystery and thrills does not obscure just how immaculately executed the whole affair is. When you take all these elements and add Fiennes doing some of his best work in years, Conclave is that rare dramatic hit that both entertains and has some bigger ideas on its mind. Well, there you have it. The only thing left to discuss is our rating for this picture. FOF gives Conclave 4 out of 5 stars. If you enjoyed this review, please let us know by giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Also, don't forget to visit FurmanOnFilm.com for even more movie content. And guys, we've got a podcast now. New episodes coming each week. You can catch us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Thanks for watching. I'm Nick Furman. This is Furman on Film. Stay firm, my friends.